Sophomore Jared Harper for Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers. Kevin, he's the consummate point guard. He's going to have the ball in his hand. He's the floor general. Bryce Brown, while averaging 23 points a game, is Bruce's best defender, and he better be on his game. He's got to cover Temple's junior, Shiz Alston. I mean, he's just a do-it-all elite scorer. And sophomore Quentin Rose. Folks, wait until you see this athlete get downhill. I mean, you're going to think he's an SEC halfback coming at you.
How about that duo with 43 points yesterday? Away we go, the first of our two semifinal matchups today from TD Arena in Charleston. Auburn, of course, in the orange, Temple in the white. And it starts 4 outside the arc for the Tigers.
And you got man-to-man defense, a little slip travel, first possession for Auburn. Man-to-man defense, Kevin, for both teams, but different. As you saw, Temple's going to play half-court man-to-man, not really deny the passing lanes. And here's Auburn extending the defense, make it difficult for the ball to get in bounds. And when they retreat to the half-court, they're going to be in that passing lane and try to make it as hard for Temple to reverse the ball, which is what Fran Dunphy's teams do extremely well.
Let's take a look at those starting lineups. I think we may talk about the size today. 2 players 6'10" or taller for Temple, and for Auburn, it's not the biggest front court. This is Quentin Rose. You spotlighted the jump shooter. Very athletic wing. This is his first try.
Rose would much rather get to the rim, and you know Auburn knows that, whereas Shiz Alston can light it up from anywhere, from 25 feet and in. He can score.
What do you expect the pace to be like today?
I think it's going to be quicker than Temple wants. I think that's the answer, because Auburn has 9 guys. They can wear them down. Temple really just goes 6 or 7. So I think Temple will run opportunistically, but Auburn wants to run up and down.
That was Harper who went to the rim, and then Deshaun Murray crashes the board effectively, the first bucket.
Boy, we were really impressed with Deshaun Murray yesterday. I mean, 6'3", folks. He's covering 6'10", Obi, and he plays as big.
Ernest of Flackby, he set the screen, drove in, fouled by Bryce Brown. Now, Murray may give Fran Dunphy some fits today defensively. The all-time winningest Big 5 coach and a legend in Philadelphia, nationally as well. Defensively, Auburn's going to throw a lot at him today.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think Fran gets as much credit nationally, Kevin, as he should. I mean, he's been at 2 programs, won over 200 games at each, and he's taken each, University of Pennsylvania and Temple University, to at least 6 NCAA appearances at both. I mean, the man can coach, and he's got his work cut out for him this afternoon against Auburn.
Now, Dunphy and his center, Ernest of Flackby, trying to take Temple back to the NCAA tournament. Were there 2 seasons ago. Missed last year's tournament, finished 500, but now they have, look for number 1 in the white, Josh Brown, back and healthy.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles. It wasn't a sever, but he had surgery. He had to take last year off. Still not 100%, but he is a calming influence for the Owls, much like this guy for Auburn. I mean, Jared Harper, he is the best point guard I've seen in this tournament.
Finds Murray. All right, Murray doesn't normally shoot too often. He's taken a couple shots early on. Spencer's follow went flying out of bounds, and Temple ball.
You have to put a body on Spencer and Murray. They will crash the glass. And here's Auburn again extending that defense.
Auburn, 17 steals its first 3 games. Shiz Alston Jr., hit 5 of those triples yesterday in a win over Old Dominion. Here's Bryce Brown, and he connects. We may see these teams take 40, maybe 45 threes today. They like to let it go, and Bruce Pearl's team is out to a 5-2 lead.
Well, Bryce Brown, did not make a 3 yesterday, so he hit his first one. A great start.
So, Mark, Bruce is without what would have been 2 starters, Austin Wiley, D'Angelo Purifoy, and that duo being held out by Bruce and the basketball staff. Remember, there's the ongoing NCAA investigation and the school's own investigation into assistant coach, former associate head coach, I should say, Chuck Person, and the potential involvement of those two players. Now, we don't know. We're still waiting on answers. But if you play a player that's ineligible now, jeopardizes the rest of their season.
Well, absolutely. And we got a great glimpse of Coach Pearl in the pregame in the locker room, the energy that he brings. And right out of the gate, you can see him working the sidelines. Look, he has two best players of his team, Wiley and Purifoy, not here, as you mentioned. It doesn't matter. He's got 9 other guys that are fighting for playing time. And the energy that he brings to his team ends up in an intensity that is tough to match.
Well, regardless of who's out there, they're going to run. And that skips to Anthony McLemore. Now Alston Jr. Rose in stride and buries the three. Temple up 2.
It's the second time that Temple has pushed the ball up. One pass shot. Shiz Alston missed his 3, and Rose knocking down the first 3 is a bad sign for the Auburn Tigers.
Rose 20 points yesterday. Remember, that was Temple's season opener. Didn't have a game scheduled over the weekend. So started a few days later than most.
So you're
Flat P rolling.
You're saying Rose is averaging 20 points a game. Is that what you're saying, Kev?
That's the math that even I can do.
Well, you know, it is elementary. We're talking Syracuse grad here, folks.
Well, we're going to have to break out the calculator after tonight. We'll have 2 games. That's your division. There's Rose.
Already a different Auburn offense. Yesterday, they were able to get to the rim against Indiana State. Today, they're settling for jump shots. Credit Temple's defense.
Obi and Echionia.
And that's not Obi's game. He wants to catch and shoot, and Auburn knows it. Getting physical with him.
With 2 to shoot. And Echionia misses everything. Harper can run. Here we go. This is what you talked about. Flackby, he may have bumped Harper, and he did. So that's the first foul on Ernest Flackby. Fast start. Temple is connected on a couple threes. And Bruce Pearl's team down early. Semifinal, the first of 2 today in Charleston. And former Auburn associate head coach Chuck Sinley, indicted on November 7th by the FBI, has since been let go by Auburn University. And it's an investigation that is ongoing right now. But, Mark, we talked about this a few moments ago. A couple players are held out of today's game and have early on for Auburn. And that's D'Angelo Purifoy and Austin Wiley as well. 2 great players. And now there was that report last week that said head coach Bruce Pearl is not cooperating with the school and with the investigation. But you talked to him a couple days ago. You got the story from Pearl.
I think the most important thing, folks, is it's not an NCAA investigation. It's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're talking about the federal government. Kevin, when the FBI gets involved, it's a whole different sets of rules and regulations. I know there's a member of the staff of Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers that's basically on the phone 24/7 trying to figure out when Purifoy and Wiley can get back into eligibility. And, folks, when you see these 2 guys come back, I mean, Wiley is maybe the best NBA stud prospect, and Purifoy at 6'8", 230, Kevin, is a perimeter player with one of the best NBA bodies available.
And you imagine adding another shooter like Purifoy back to this lineup. Here's Mustafa Heron. That's his first look. Former 5-star recruit, led this team in scoring a year ago. And Anthony McLemore, the sophomore, part of that 2016 class. Probably the best in school history with the impact underneath.
I love McLemore. He just plays big, strong, and he's brilliant, may I say. Turned down an MIT academic scholarship to go play basketball at Auburn.
Going the other way, and the foul is on Ernest Flackby. That is his second. And that is a point of emphasis. The screens, moving screens, and our officials this season are going to harp on how wide you set a screen this year.
You can't be excessively wide. You know, your feet have to be shoulder length apart. And you start getting wider than that, you're looking for trouble, and the referees are going to call a foul every time.
Davion Mitchell. And the rebound down to Obi Echionia. Good hands, Chuma Okeke. Excellent yesterday in the quarterfinal. He's running the floor, too. Blocked by Echionia. Okeke is everywhere. Pounces on that loose basketball. Heron, another offensive board. 2 on this possession, and then the foul on Temple. There's McLemore in the paint. All right, tip off your weekend with another NBA doubleheader. It's on ESPN. Russ and Carmelo and Paul George leading the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first matchup at 8 p.m. against LaMarcus Aldridge and the Spurs. And later on, New Orleans and Denver. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown charged by Mountain Dew. And that starts at 7 Eastern. There's McLemore. You're saying you didn't have a 3.8 GPA like McLemore did have his freshman year?
McLemore scored 1,600 and something on his SATs, folks. There's a bonus question, apparently, that you can take, and he got that one right, too. But I'll tell you, McLemore and Murray, much more intensity and energy in the early parts of this game than Temple's front court.
Onetshiona from way outside.
And that is what he does. Obi wants to catch and shoot. He's a 6'10" two guard, Kevin. You know, I mean, if people tell him to go down low and battle, he's like, yeah, I'll just take a step back to 25 feet and knock down for 3. Thank you very much.
Well, and how about the block on this side of the floor? The previous possession, there's Herod. He led this team in blocks and threes made a year ago. One of 9 players in the country last year to do that.
Well, we just saw the NBA promo. The NBA is now a positionless league. So at 6'10", if you can shoot a 25-foot jump shot, you're going to play on some team. But the scouts want to see him get physical and put the ball on the floor as well.
This is Damian Moore into the game with the rebound. Well, Bruce Pearl told you, NBA, it's Obi. He is the guy he believes can play at that next level on this Temple team.
And this guy, Quentin Rose, if he can just refine his jump shot a little better athletically, he's already an NBA body.
Auburn's defense has been very impressive the first few games, and that's the 3rd steal.
And Auburn is doing a great job keeping the ball out of Josh Brown's hands. That's who Fran Dunphy wants to run that Temple offense. That's 2 turnovers for Quentin Rose, who was forced to play point guard last year when Brown sat out.
Only played in 5 games a year ago because of that Achilles injury that you highlighted. And Onetshiona, he's got that long wingspan, can grab a long rebound. Rose unselfish, and Moore had it poked out. Good find.
Well, that's what Quentin wants to do. He wants to get down. He wants to get to the paint and take it to the rim. Great little interior passing, and this is what Obi wants to do. How about the footwork, Kevin? Catch and shoot. I mean, you have to be out there. The freshman for Auburn just didn't get out there, and he needs to. Chuma Okeke has to know he's going to catch and shoot.
Onetshiona may take one from Murray Boulevard down the road. He has in the gym range.
Oh, absolutely. A step away from the popcorn machine, and he'll let it go.
40% from downtown a year ago. This is a higher percentage look, and it's Rose with a quick 5 points.
Nice little return on the interior passing from Moore. Give and go. Well done.
Remember, this is the semifinal, the first of 2 in the Gildan Charleston Classic. Potentially 2 NCAA tournament teams on the floor. They both played great to start the year, and perhaps the best matchup of teams in this tournament.
You can see the philosophy for Fran Dunphy. Give Auburn the 3-point shot, and they've missed a couple because they want to get to the rim, and they're staying off them, giving up that 3.
1 of 7, now 1 of 8 from downtown. That was Mitchell. Misfired, but it's a handful of offensive rebounds already for Auburn.
Temple is bigger athletically, folks, at every possession. So we'll give up the 3 and not let them get to the rim.
Carper, no. Horace Spencer fouled. And it's on Shiz Alston Jr., his first foul. Stick with this. Excellent matchup today. That's the redshirt senior from.
Fast breaks are a lot of fun. These kids come into media day, Kevin, and they are nervous until you ask them those silly questions, and they really let loose. And Josh had a lot of fun impersonating Fran Dunphy until he realized Fran Dunphy was 5 feet away from him. He clammed up a little bit.
I think it's you. You just have a calming presence about you. It's a foul before that putback. Spencer wanted it. So, okay, you mentioned Fran Dunphy. How about the coaches for Josh Brown? A Big 5 legend, if you will, and Fran Dunphy, but in high school at St. Anthony back in New Jersey as head coach.
Talking about Bobby Hurley, St. Anthony's, who's had a gazillion floor leaders come through that are all All-Americans in college, like his son, for example. But yeah, I mean, this kid wants the ball, and take a look, folks. Number 10, as we showed in the open, is denying Josh the ball, and that's a huge part of the defensive strategy of Bruce Pearl.
Alani Moore. Spencer with a nice box out. This is Jared Harper, 4-star recruit from Georgia. Ball still on the floor. Alston flicks it to Brown. Moore from this side. Damian Moore. And Brown missed everything. So we're going back the other way. Little wild sequence back and forth, but Temple still ahead.
Which favors Auburn. That is exactly the possession that Bruce Pearl wants. Let's get this game running up and down. Let's get everyone tired. Let's get everyone a little helter-skelter, because when Temple has an opportunity to get into the half-court offense and move and reverse that basketball, they are very hard to beat.
I think there's two questions we were asking before this game. Which team is bigger, but which team is faster, too? It may come down to one of those two factors.
Well, Temple is an NCAA tournament team. They're big. They got great guards. They have great size and a great coach. Auburn's just fast. They're athletic.
Harper, that looked good the moment it left his fingertips.
He can shoot the three. I mean, he is the floor general, but when open, he will knock him down.
Well, rarely shoots, but to your point, 7 assists yesterday compared to just 1 turnover. Moore and Spencer bodying down underneath. I think Bruce Pearl wanted it over the back, but it's going to stay here.
Well, actually, it's just a lazy job by Shiz Alston going behind the screen. I mean, I know that they're giving the three-point shot. I know that Harper was out 23 feet away, but you have to at least make an effort to get around the screen, because you've got help if he beats you off the dribble.
Devondre Perry. Pinballs to Heron. There he goes. Brown chasing from behind. It's a whistle on Moore. That's his first.
There he goes is a phrase that you're going to hear a lot when you're talking and watching Auburn Tigers basketball. They have to and love to get on the transition.
Clemson and Hofstra after us. Nice victory for Hofstra over Dayton yesterday, and Clemson outlasted Ohio. Made a nice push in the second half. Brad Brownell's team still alive. And the three, Anthony McLemore.
That's the second time a simple dribble handoff, a little ball screen, and Temple has not defended it, and they have got burnt by 2 back-to-back threes.
Alston Jr. And Damian Moore with the follow. That's a sophomore from Mississippi. Harper gets bumped, and they whistle Perry. So that is the 7th team foul on Temple. Auburn at the line for a 1-and-1.
Just a great job from Auburn, drawing the 2 defenders and dishing it back to McLemore, who has the ability to knock down the 3. Oh, excitement. That's one thing that Bruce Pearl's Tigers do not lack, is energy and intensity.
Anthony McLemore from behind the arc last season. 1 for 1. He's matched it. Quit while you're ahead right now. He's batting 1,000.
Well, you know what? The shot was there. It was the right shot. I mean, he's supposed to take that shot. If he went to the rim, he'd bring the defense into the possession. The defense gave him the wide open 3. You have to take it.
McLemore is that 6th man off the bench. Not just a great communicator on the floor, but it's off the floor as well. He's a member of the SEC Men's Basketball Leadership Council. As just a sophomore, you can tell he oozes confidence. A big reason why Auburn won 18 games a year ago, finished above 500, first time in 8 years.
And his academic IQ has transferred to the basketball court IQ. Talking to the coaching staff about McLemore, he just gets better and better by practices, not even by games, because he just learns and loves to soak it all in.
Temple was ahead early on. Auburn is pulled back in front by 3. We expect this to be a very close game and perhaps the best matchup in this tournament. There's a whistle underneath, and it's on Chuma Okeke. Little physical inside, his first foul. All right, so Miami is back in action after that victory over Notre Dame. Now number 3 in the college football playoff ranking. Virginia on Saturday at noon. That game is on ABC, but also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Well, you can see Bruce Pearl getting once again all excited. Here's what Auburn does on the out-of-bounds play. They go to a full-court pressure. It's as if they're going down the other end. They deny you the ball, and you have to, be used to it. But when you come in 3 games in 4 days, Temple didn't see that coming. I mean, you don't practice that, and they caught them on a 5-second call.
Remember, this is Temple's 2nd game of the season. That's it. The first being yesterday. Also keep in mind, Auburn played that 11:30 a.m. game. Temple played at 2 o'clock, so if you're keeping track of that sort of stuff, Temple, a few fewer hours to prepare.
Well, as long as you're keeping track. Auburn shot around in between the two sessions yesterday around 4:30. Temple was in the practice gym around 9:30 last night, walking through, trying to prepare for the game.
Not the best display of shooting early on. Both teams below 30% from the field. High percentage look, and it bounces out. Chuma Okeke is everywhere, and now he's at the line.
Well, this is the young man, the freshman that the NBA scouts really like. I mean, they all came to see Austin Wiley and D'Angelo Purifoy, and they go away saying, who's this kid number 4? You can see he's got the big body, got himself on balance, and went up strong. Bad foul by Obi. You don't reach over. Go straight up and make the contested layup.
He was number 50, I should say, on ESPN's top 100 recruiting list for this most recent class. High arc, and Alston Jr. has the nice shooter's touch.
He is an elite scorer, has it all. Full toolbox, including the floater. Well done.
So why is his game better? Is that due to Josh Brown's presence this year?
Absolutely. It takes the ball out of his hand, less responsibilities of distributing the basketball and just scoring, which is what he can and loves to do.
Alston Jr. open. Alani Moore, his third try from beyond the arc, no. And he hit one earlier in the game.
But a much better possession for the Owls. Fran Dunphy can live with that miss because it was a ball reversal, a couple of passes, and then an open three. What Auburn has forced Temple to do successfully is take a one-pass shot in transition, and that is not what Fran Dunphy wants to see his team do.
Nice defense by Aflakpi. 4 seconds to shoot. Brown's calling for the screen. Gotta let it go. And who was it? Okeke kept it alive, but it's out to Alston Jr. Moore wants contact. Gonna stay here. Last touch by Auburn. Tigers have a 4-point advantage over the Carolina. That's a nice win over a Final Four team from a year ago. Boise State, you like what they've done this year, and then Iowa State and Tulsa as well at the bottom of the bracket.
That Boise State UTEP game came down to a last-second basket by senior Chandler Hutchison, who I saw play here last year, Kevin. 6'7" forward, can really score. I mean, you know, I love what Coach Leon Rice has done with that Boise State team. Watch out, folks. They might get to the finals on that one.
Good defense from Macklemore. So South Carolina, they lose. They're playing right now. Big lead over UTEP. Watch out for Chris Silva in the SEC for the Auburn fans. Macklemore skies. They lost it. That was Obi Onechionia. Affected that underneath. They need his presence down low today, too. Nice drive from Alani Moore the second.
You know, bad job by Auburn. Did not stop the basketball. Moore had it in control and never left his eyes off the rim. Straight line drive. Auburn has to stop the ball first and then recover to a man.
Temple was one of its last 8 from the field. That was a big make. Mustafa Heron. Rebound to Shiz Alston Jr. He's from Philadelphia, went to the Haverford School. His father, Levan, played at Temple in the 90s. Here's Mitchell. Turns on the Jets for 2.
Same sin going this way. Stop the ball. Obi, stop the ball. Don't try to block the shot. Let someone trailing the play block the shot from behind. You never are going to win a game if you don't stop the basketball first.
That's his range.
They really have done a great job. Auburn has, Kevin, of taking Obi out of the game. They'll give him those catching shots from 25 feet because if you can keep that 6'10" frame away from the paint, you're winning.
And it is a 4-point lead for the Tigers. No look to Mitchell. Brown's shot, it's tipped to Obi Onechionia. Quentin Rose from the corner, and he connects. It's a big first half for Rose in yesterday's quarterfinal matchup. Had 20 points. Temple was all over Old Dominion in the first half, and now this team is starting to find its touch. 1-point game inside TD Arena. Semifinals of the Gildan Charleston Classic.
You want to come back with that three? Nice ball move.
Temple on a 7-2 run, getting late in the first half. And Quentin Rose, big shot he just knocked out, has his team back within one.
2 for 2 from behind the arc this afternoon early, which is great because now you're going to start flying out at Quentin Rose, and that is exactly what he wants you to do, because once he gives a little show and go, he can get to the rim as well as anybody. But that last possession was Temple basketball. Ball came up the left side, Kevin. Nice reverse all the way to the right corner. Wide open three.
You mentioned earlier Auburn had kind of taken the Owls out of its game plan offensively earlier.
It's fatigue. The energy of playing 94 feet in the first part of the first half was all Auburn. Now Temple said, okay, this is what you're trying to do. And in a composed offensive set, Temple's tough to beat.
With 1 on the shot clock, Okiki had to hoist it. Winner of today's game to the championship on Sunday.
So that was too quick. That will be there all afternoon. You can always get that shot. Reverse the ball, make a penetrating pass. You can always end up with an easy three-point shot.
Temple has already taken 13 triples, 3 of 13. There's the drive. Alston Jr.
How good is this kid? The Euro step, we saw the floater. He's got a great 3, 5 for 8 yesterday from behind the arc. Just a scoring machine.
Temple ahead by 1. Herron on the drive. And the foul on J.P. Moore the second. So Herron, very good free throw shooter, close to 80% from the stripe a year ago. Heads to the line after the Mormon foul.
Well, Mormon's a very good, versatile forward, big body, but most freshmen, like most freshmen, Kevin, they have to get used to not being the biggest and baddest athlete on the court like they are in high school. You don't come out and challenge this off at 25 feet. I mean, that's silly because he went right by him, he recognized the mismatch, and he drew the foul.
I thought that national title for Villanova in '85, that was your freshman season. You were the impact player, I thought, as a freshman.
And I was equally as naive. The only impact I had was carrying the guys' bags and Gatorade bottles. Still got a ring, so I'm happy with that.
Mark Plansky, many say, was denied the Final Four most outstanding player. It was given to Ed Pinckney instead.
It was close. It was a hanging shit.
This is Herron again. Now he's putting his head down and attacking. He's good at that. Bruce Pearl says he wants him to shoot a little bit more this year, but that's his specialty. Mormon, he went around the defender, and he's fouled. Mormon at the line when we return. On the ESPN app. Efficient is probably going to come out on top. Who's impressed? Which side?
Neither team has really come out and dominated from the backcourt. I don't think we've seen any firepower from either set of guards. I'll tell you what, you look at the stats, 4 turnovers for each team in almost a full half. It was good on paper, but they're turning the ball over to the rim. The shooting percentage is horrible. I mean, it's like you out here shooting threes at 20%. And instead of throwing the ball away, they're taking quick shots out of control, out of character shots, which is why the shooting percentages are down. Look for more ball movement from both teams.
Nice touch for Horace Spencer, the junior from Philadelphia. Spent the year at Findlay Prep, and then Bruce Pearl signed him as part of that 2016, part of the 2015 class. These aren't
had a nice game, and now his job is to prevent Obi from getting the ball, which he has done an excellent job of in the first half.
Alston Jr. connects.
Speaking of preventing the ball getting into someone's hands, Shiz, I mean, you just might want to stick to him a little tighter. This kid, he is so smooth, too. I mean, he just can do anything at any time.
Good, strong drive. Murray came up empty. Now Josh Brown galloping a bit. And then Chionia, he can step into that. Finds his man, and Mormon no. Ruled Temple basketball, and our officials may get together to figure out who this was last touched by.
You saw the nice step back by Shiz for the three. I mean, just unacceptable not to go out and run him off the line.
Now that looked more like a Mark Plansky Belgian League shot from back in the day.
Exactly. No, that was, you know, that three-point arc, that's like a force field. You don't want to go by it on either end. Down here either, on the defensive end, there's no reason to go in there. Let somebody else get the rebound.
Well, and last year these teams took about 25 a game. That's a large amount. It was at the top of each of their conferences. Today, though, the shots aren't falling from outside. So Murray drives instead. Wrap around, follows, a third try. And it's J.P. Mormon the second with it.
How about the effort by Murray? Everything but the bucket. 3 chances.
Rose, no. Spencer got it. Well, those shots in the paint were falling for Auburn yesterday against Indiana State. Harper pulls. Rebound to Temple.
Out of character. I mean, that shot not there. Well contested by Temple defense.
Rose on the drive. You like that shot, though? Good drive?
I do. I think he got a little contact. I think Quentin Rose thinks he got a little contact there, too. But the referees are letting him run up and down, which I love.
Rose has 8 points. That's a game high. He's 3 of 8 from the field. These two teams very physical.
You know Bruce Pearl's happy being down 2 at the end of the coming into a minute and a half left in the first half because he thinks he's wearing this Temple team down. Sooner or later, these jump shots are going to go with uncontested looks.
Now, Auburn 25% from the field. Temple just 31%. Credit the defenses, though.
Absolutely. This is probably the first offensive set, real offensive set Temple's run in about 10 minutes.
Well, that's what Fran Dunphy likes to see. Movement, and Anecchione is awarded with the foul.
It's amazing what happens, Kevin, when you swing the ball right to left, high to low. I mean, you make the defense decide, do I cover this guy? Do I rotate over here? And Obi, once again, get inside around the rim. You can see him hanging out like the trash man, just hanging around the bucket. Nice pass by Moore, little dump down bounce pass. Easy to catch, easy to convert.
Less than a minute to go in our first semifinal. Winner to the championship game Sunday. J.P. Mormon shoved Macklemore. Now we've got the Land Rover halftime report coming up. What a first week of college basketball. And we'll look at some of those tournaments as part of our feast week all around the country. The Champions Classic was Tuesday. Duke and Kansas coming out on top. And then, of course, the first half highlights from today, the first of our 2 semifinal matchups in Charleston.
You know, Kevin, I think when Bruce Pearl gets to the halftime locker room speech, he's going to recognize that every time they had a ball screen, they had success, whether it was for a jump shot or take the ball to the rim, get an offensive rebound, or get to the line like Macklemore did just there and convert. When they just settled for the jump shots, it's been a very inefficient offensive set.
Heard Bruce say it in practice the last couple days. DHO, dribble handoff.
You like that acronym. You're stealing that one.
Out of bounds, stays here. Whatever simplifies.
Well, and it's funny, Fran Dunphy has come to Auburn. Right now you're looking at Obi as the 5. He's going to play a smaller team and try to match up with the speed and athleticism. So Coach Dunphy's going to get in the locker room and say, guys, let's run our stuff. Let's move the ball. Let's go inside, outside, and not take the quick shot.
Can Temple do that?
Oh, absolutely. They do it every day in practice. That's the way they play basketball.
Brown has only taken 2 shots. Offensive foul. Harper slides in.
Great rotation, smart play, getting his feet set. Josh Brown still, Kevin, just a little out of sync coming off that Achilles surgery. Usually, before he had that Achilles surgery, he would explode right there. Nice job by Harper, setting his feet, giving up the body, taking the charge.
Outside of the arc, and that is a charge. Brown only 2 shots. That was the first foul whistled against the redshirt senior. You look at his, you brought this point up, look at his numbers from the opener yesterday. It was a victory. They're not going to jump out at you, but it's all the ways he impacts a game outside of the stat sheet.
Well, confidence is the most important element for any basketball play, cover. And when Josh Brown, before he tore his Achilles, before he had the Achilles issue, he was explosive. I mean, not only was he a great floor general, but he could get to the rim, he could dunk it, he had a great little jump shot. Now, he wants to do all of that, but as he's making that move, as we just saw on the baseline, his body, his left Achilles is not allowing him to explode, and that has to affect your confidence, and then that impacts your whole game in a negative way.
I thought what was interesting, Fran Dunphy said yesterday, of course he's the glue for this team, but you know what he's getting better at? It's more the administrator.
Yeah.
And teams throw different defenses, middle of a game. He's the one to adjust, get his teammates lined up.
He's asking him to be more of a coach than a player while he's on the court. And when you have a balance of the two from your point guard, it's a deadly weapon.
5 seconds until halftime. Harper was bumped. If that's on an Etchionia, that is his second. Had to switch. Harper went to the rim. He is fearless, even though he's 5'10". He loves getting into the paint.
He's fearless. His head is always up. His eyes are excellent. His vision is elite. And he loves to take the ball into pressure against the bigger guys. I mean, I'd love to play with this guy as a point guard.
It's kind of like Damian Lillard. He said that's his favorite player. Loves watching Lillard play. Everybody likes Kyrie Irving and LeBron. No, he says the point guard he likes is Damian Lillard. Doesn't get enough credit, kind of like Harper.
I'm going to give you one here from my Villanova days. Kyle Lowry. I think he plays a lot like Kyle. Same type of toughness, same type of floor general leadership.
Yeah, Auburn looks like it's got the 4 guards out there.
Wow.
And Rose traveled.
Could not wait to get to that rim and took the extra step when he received the pass. Good call. Now gives Auburn an opportunity. Plenty of time. 3.7. 3 seconds. Time to get the ball in, take a dribble, make a pass, and still have enough time on the clock to launch it.
Back to Herron. Way outside. Murray followed, and it looks like John Huggins, our official on the near side, is saying, no, that one was after the horn, and they may take a look. That goes in, or counts. Auburn would take a 1-point lead into the locker room. Right now, Temple's ahead.
Is Murray just always in the right place at the right time? I mean, he knew the ball was going to go off long if it did. He was right there, but I think the referees made the right call because it was just only 3.7 seconds left. But look at him right there. I mean, it was close.
No. Boy, these two teams went at it in the first half. Great matchup. Still on the fingertip.
Yeah, it's close, but you know, still, I just love watching Deshaun Murray play.
So there go our officials. They've said no bucket. Temple down to Charleston, South Carolina.
How good does that look?
Tilapia broiled or blackened?
Food is unbelievable in this city.
And a nice move for Josh Brown. Was pretty quiet in that first half. That's his first basket, and Brown elevates at the rim.
Funny, we were talking at the break about Auburn needs to go to the high ball screen because they had success in the first half. Temple simply did that and had an uncontested layup.
That 3 was down and out for Herron.
You can tell we're playing with 2 great coaches. Both plays out of the locker room, well designed.
Ernest Aflakpi, the junior from Ghana, 21 starts a year ago, and he is that inside presence for Temple.
Well, they got to the paint first 2 possessions. Fran Dunphy said enough of that 3-point launching. Let's get inside out.
It's a whistle on Aflakpi. That is foul number 3. Yeah, first half, Temple takes 16 threes. They took only 19 yesterday in the quarterfinal win over Old Dominion. That's it.
16 threes, 17 twos. That's outweighted for Fran Dunphy's teams.
Herron, he started that move towards the rim before he had the basketball, so they pull it out. Mentioned the coaching matchup, Fran Dunphy for Temple, Bruce Pearl for Auburn. Over 1,000 wins combined between that duo. Another three that goes down and out. That's back-to-back for Auburn. That was in the cylinder, this time for Harper.
A little deep, but not a bad shot at all because the defender went behind the ball screen, so it was a wide-open, uncontested three.
Harper hit a three in the first half. That's a rare thing to say today. Alston Jr., he has 9.
He just put Harper in his back pocket, put him in jail, and calmly took the little 12-foot floater.
Alston very rangy. He's 6'4". Tried to strip that away from Brown, and nothing doing for Horace Spencer that time. Auburn's missed its last 10.
And, of course, Auburn wants to score to get into the press. They want to get 94 feet of pressure, but if you don't put the ball through the bucket, you can't set up your press.
Well, Harper just causes the turnover. Another steal. Deshaun Murray with the head fake in the basket.
You know, Temple is giving the outside shots, but such a dominating head fake. Obi went up on his toes, and Murray took him right to the rim.
Rose feeds his teammate. And Damian Moore fouled underneath. And it looks like it's the third foul on Obi Anechionia.
You know, a shot fake is a shot not taken. Didn't that look a lot like a shot just not taken? Not eyes up to the roof, Kevin, but like I'm taking a shot. That got Obi to bite, and then right straight line to the rim. Nice job by Murray.
Bruce Pearl brought Murray in as a transfer a season ago, scored 20 a game at Presbyterian. That's a school right up the road from us in South Carolina. He was just too good for the Big South. Now he's at the SEC. And now a 6-point lead for Temple. Bruce Pearl is asking Deshaun Murray at maybe 6'3", 6'4", to play the 4 this year. And he's doing a good job so far to start.
Oh, absolutely. And you get Wiley back here, the big stud in the middle, and let him actually do the exact same things against someone who's 6'3", 6'4". Think about it. He's doing this against 6'10", Moore and Obi. What's going to happen when he's going against 6'3", 6'4"?
Bryce Brown puts 3 fingers up. His second 3-ball.
They've had success when they've had simple ball screens or DHO.
And Murray reaches in.
Nice little DHO, as my partner says. Dribble handoff. The defender again gets caught, gets lazy on the hip, and you're half a second behind, and Bryce Brown squared his shoulders, went up, and knocks it down.
Brown, opening night against Norfolk State, career high 31. Stone Mountain, Georgia native.
One of the leaders on the floor for skip to Rose. That was a great skip pass by Shiz Alston from the left wing deep into the right corner. Rose wide open, uncontested 3. Knocked down 2 in the first half. Clanks that one. Mustafa Herrion from the top of the key, no. And Temple left to right across the floor, leading 42-38. Good one-on-one play between Harper and Alston.
Harper onto Alston's tricks, using his hands as well as his feet to defend the great two-guard Shiz.
So early in the second half, and Temple leads by 4. Semifinal number 1 of the Gildan Charleston Classic. Too strong. Moore, he has been fighting for the offensive rebounds early on, and Fran Dunphy has given a chance to Damian Moore, and he's back at the line. Timeout inside TD Arena. Temple up by 4 in the semifinal. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. It's either Clemson or Hofstra, and the championship game is Sunday evening, 9:30. Bruce Pearl's team was down 1 at the break, trailing by 4. Damian Moore has affected this game inside for Temple. He's cleaning up the boards.
Well, he's got the big body. He does not match up at all with Auburn's front court being bigger and stronger. But here's what's going on. Fran Dunphy said, hey, guys, get it inside. They're outscoring Auburn 6-2 in the second half. Inside-out basketball. Let's take advantage of our size. Take advantage of Moore in the paint, and then dump it out for the easy 3.
Now 4 rebounds for Moore. Forgot about McLemore. Slams it down.
I don't think Josh Brown's going to forget about McLemore. Wow, you talk about vertical.
Ineccionia, no. Just 1 3 out of 5 tries for Obi, the senior from Springfield, Virginia. Led this team in 3-point shooting a year ago.
And both teams have really gone to the ball screen more in the second half instead of just a 1 pass and perimeter jump shot. Make the defense defend and make a decision and take advantage of that mismatch that gets created.
3 to shoot. Harper steps into it. Here is Brown, the redshirt senior. They leave him open, and he buries it.
Almost offense by accident. Josh was not looking for that shot, but as you said, Kevin, they left him open, and he did go up with confidence and knocked it down.
Only 4 shots for Brown, but that's usually his game. He's feeding his teammates. Point guard returns this season.
Bruce Pearl did not like that. That was too quick. A nice dribble handoff, DHO, but not there. There was a good contest by the Temple Owl defense.
Touch pass. Moore again. He traveled, ball back to Auburn.
You know, Kevin, when you do a high ball screen, you challenge the defense. And a great job right there by McLemore rolling off the high ball screen and then just finish. Folks, Kevin Fitzgerald cannot do this. Trust me.
Like I said, you give me a 7-foot rim, maybe. Anthony McLemore carried a 3.8 GPA his freshman year at Auburn as well. And another basket, the Tigers within 2.
You know, credit Jared Harper. What a great job taking it all the way into the rim and then find the wide open 3 in the corner by the freshman Okeke.
It's a foul, though, on the freshman from College Park, Georgia. Bruce Pearl continues to bring in talent from the state of Georgia. It's McLemore, Mitchell, Okeke as well. And those are 4-star recruits that Pearl has signed the last few years. It was only a matter of time, and Obi Ineccionia drains his second triple.
You know, as a shooter, Kevin, it's all about confidence. That's a set play out of bounds. Obi knew the ball was coming to him. He had his feet set. He was going to catch and shoot. Confidently went up and stroked it. He knew that ball was going in the moment he touched it.
Okeke responds. Now the threes are falling.
Talked to Bruce Pearl after yesterday's game where Okeke made two threes yesterday. He said those are his first 2. He hasn't made 2 in practice, Mark. He made 2 more this afternoon.
11 points yesterday. Rose buries into Harper. That is the second charge he has taken. Maybe that one a bit more involuntarily than the first.
Well, as you can tell, this is an out-of-bounds play. Great job by Josh Brown getting into the paint, and Obi knew that ball was coming to him, and he just got up and knocked it down. And Okeke says, hey, Obi, you got to cover me too. Great job, great matchup between those 2.
Harper has a bit of a mismatch. The reverse, and McLemore stuffs it down. Technical foul. And now we have to find out who is that whistled against. Take a look at where this basketball is, by the way, on the rim.
Yeah, it looked like the ball was out of the cylinder. At live, Kevin, it looked like it might have been an offensive goaltending, but you have to put a body on that man. McLemore rising up and flushing it down. I'm not sure exactly who the technical foul was called on.
And it's on McLemore. They whistle, and Fernie McLemore. You saw perhaps a bit of taunting after the play.
We saw a couple technical fouls yesterday in our games, Kevin, with that taunting type, and we asked the referees before the game, and they said, hey, no, that's just part of the sportsmanship. You get another look at Harper taking an Obi off the dribble, and then no one puts a body on McLemore. And so it probably was what he said. That just didn't register well with the referee. John Higgins, who made the call, is the lead official of Big 12, an excellent referee, many Final Fours in his pocket, so I'm sure it was warranted.
Shots are dropping. The pace is starting to quicken up a bit. 2-point advantage for Temple in the second half. Okeke, strong defense, but an even better touch around the rim for Inechionya.
Obi and Okeke, a little mano-a-mano battle going on.
Oh, McLemore, and he stuffs it down.
Is that Charles Barkley in an Auburn uniform? How about the vertical?
McLemore is just hanging on the rim this second half. Sophomore is guarding more inside. Okeke the board.
Excellent job by Harper, just getting in the way of Moore from the weak side.
Here's Brown. Up and down the court we go.
And that's why coaches have offense in front of them in the second half. Shiz had the ball ready to launch, and Fran says, get it out. Run our stuff.
Fran Dunphy, 12 years as head coach at Temple. 4-time Conference Coach of the Year. And he's played a bit more of Damian Moore. He slams it down.
I am more impressed with Shiz Alston every game I watch. Just under control. What an excellent dish for the easy slam by Moore.
Alston is guarding Brown. There he is on this side. McLemore has 2 free throws. Now it's starting to become Auburn inside. Everybody's attacking the rim, Mark, in the second half.
Well, McLemore and Moore have been going at each other down low. Now they're flying above each other. This is the first one. Catch and vertical. Send it back. And then Shiz Alston. Hey, Kev, under control. Dish. And Moore says, send it down. Come on back, folks.
Brilliant stuff from our production crew. That's excellent. Now, Rolly Massimino,
Well, you know, his roots are in the Big East. He learned under the great Dr. Tom Davis. Bruce is a 1982 grad of Boston College. So he learned the basketball from the PhD, Dr. Tom. But you can't teach the promotion and the marketing that Bruce has. You know, I was talking to Sonny Smith, who does the radio for Auburn, the great Hall of Fame coach who coached Charles Barkley. And he said, Mark, I don't think we ever sold out the arena. Bruce has sold out the arena season tickets. But how can you not? It's so infectious. I mean, if you're a player, you're like, okay, I've heard this. But then you have to say, all right, let's go. Come on. This guy's crazy. I can't let him down. And it shows when they get on the court. The intensity is outstanding.
How about the intensity overall in the second half between these two teams?
Right there. Go!
GT! Get out of his way.
And it's not a surprise it came out off a timeout where Bruce is in there 80% calculating X's and O's and 80% saying, let's go. That's like Yogi Berra. That's 2 80% equals 100.
Stays here. That was Okeke going about 200 miles per hour to the rim.
Active hands. They finally scored. They got to get the press in. Again, excellent job by our man, Jared Harper, to get in there with the deflection. And Okeke is just taking it strong to the rim this afternoon.
That is Harper with the steal. He's got a couple guys running. Takes it himself, and Auburn is ahead for the first time since the first half.
You mentioned it earlier, Kevin, that these are 2 NCAA caliber teams. Guard play is what gets you into March Madness. How good is this kid Harper? Right to the rim against Quentin Rose, who has got him with athleticism, size, didn't matter. Right to the rim and convert.
15 assists for Jared Harper in 3 games to start the year. Only 3 turnovers. Shiz Alston Jr. And he gets the drop.
And
his fire up that Temple side.
His body language was he stopped, went right up, came right down on balance, which all great shooters do, and he just gave a little shoulder shake like Kevin Durant when that ball went up and in. That was awesome.
14 points for Alston Jr., and that snaps the Auburn 6-0 run. The Tigers used that to pull back ahead, and now we flip-flop. Yeah, both of those teams were cold from behind the arc in the first half. You saw the numbers. They're starting to fall from the outside.
Well, it's amazing when you get a halftime speech to get all the coaches to say, what are we doing? Get back to our game.
Horace Spencer at the line. Winner advances to the championship game. That's 9:30 p.m. on Sunday from TD Arena in Charleston. Spencer, the junior. And he's a great shot blocker. He's great underneath. Great student as well. You know, remember, he tore his labrum in January of last year, so he missed the last 25% of the season, but if he didn't tear his labrum, would have missed the birth of his son, Avery, which happened about a month and a half later. He's got an 8-month-old, so he's playing for the young one.
Just a great young man and such a proud father. Really has changed his life for the better. He loves being a daddy.
He's guarding Inechionia. And it's a whistle on Spencer, and he's frustrated with himself. Look, he knows it. He's looking at Bruce Pearl. That's his second, though. Excuse me, his third.
But he's following instructions from that Auburn coaching staff. Make Obi put the ball on the ground. You can get away with him getting to the foul line 1 out of 5 possessions. Don't let him catch and shoot.
It's worth repeating. You just mentioned it. These two teams, they're probably going to win 20 games this year. They're most likely headed to the NCAA tournament, or a great chance for both of these teams. Temple 500 a year ago, and they should bounce back with Josh Brown now returning from injury. And you know, Auburn, it just continues to take steps forward. And remember, they're playing without Austin Wiley. D'Angelo Purifoy today held out due to the NCAA investigation.
The Auburn faithful that are watching this game know how dominant Austin Wiley is and will be when he comes back. Purifoy, if he gets back as well, is just a bigger and better version of Okiki, and they will be incredibly dangerous in that great SEC conference when those two players return.
Brown might have gotten away with a walk. Sets up Alani Moore.
He might have got away with the walk, but what an outstanding find. Moore, credit the young man, fading right on cue as Josh caught the ball. Give and go, open three.
Moore, the best three-point shooter for Temple a season ago. Murray, offensive board. He's 6'3", plays like he's 6'9" underneath.
We said in the first half, Kevin, that Bruce Pearl's objective was to wear down Temple. That's where you're going to see it. It'll manifest itself on the offensive glass. You get lazy, you don't put a body on your defender, and the offensive rebound leads to an easy two.
Mark, 15 offensive rebounds for Auburn, and we still have 8 minutes left. Good response for Obi.
I tell you what, if Obi can work on the jump hook from the block, that's an NBA repertoire.
Here are a row of NBA scouts on the baseline watching someone like Inechionia. And this out of bounds. It's going back to Obi and the Owls when we return. Temple down a few minutes ago, back up by 5.
Inside-out basketball, Kevin, is the way you play the game, the way you win games. Josh Brown penetrating, drawing, dishing to an open three for Moore. And then Obi says, oh, you know what? I know I can shoot threes. Give me the rock on the paint. Turn around. How about the left? Come on back, folks. This is getting good.
Of 2 semifinal matchups in the Gildan Charleston Classic. Later today at 9:30, Clemson and Hofstra, the 2 winners in the bottom half of the bracket yesterday. Mark, what do you expect from Clemson and Hofstra? Those are 2 late-game victories for those 2 yesterday.
How about both those games in the night bracket were great. Close games. Clemson, taking down Ohio, who made a late run, and Hofstra, Eli Pemberton, career-high 27 points. Watch out for him, folks. He's got true game.
Well, and here's your field for 2018. So Auburn this year, of course, Alabama chooses to attend the following season.
Well, You know Coach Painter is going to bring another competitive, very competitive Purdue Big Ten team down here to Charleston. Look out for Billy Cohen's Northeastern Huskies. Great program, great coach. They'll compete for a win out of the mid-majors.
Northeastern, no stranger to playing in this arena in the CAA also. This is Quentin Rose, and he buries the three. Temple has an 8-point lead with 7:30 left. On the left side of the floor, Auburn with the ball. It's a 67-59 advantage for Temple.
All four of Rose's threes from the corner.
Underneath the hoop, Deshaun Murray. Reverse layup with the right hand. Kisses it off the window. Auburn back within 6 with 7:05 left in the second half. Few technical problems. We'll have the video back in just a moment. And left to right comes Temple. And Alani Moore, the second, who has nailed a couple threes today. Great three-point shooter. Watches as Auburn commits a foul underneath the hoop. And that's going to be a 1-and-1 situation. Bryce Brown has whistled for his second. Josh Brown, no relation, but Temple's redshirt senior point guard, wipes his Under Armour shoes, and he's at the line. 1-and-1 with 6:58 left in this semifinal matchup. Temple leads by 6. Front ends the first. Rebound Mustafa Heron for Auburn, and he's on the left side of the floor. And he travels down the lane. Ball back to Temple.
That was an attempted staggered Euro step. It was a trap. No one liked it from the Auburn side. It was a great call by John Higgins.
Alani Moore had an avenue down the paint. He converts. Temple back ahead by 8.
McLemore, who has been raising above everyone and throwing it down on the offensive side, challenged Moore because he was going to block his shot, and he just threw it high off the glass. Well done by the point guard for Temple.
Auburn had a 1-point lead about 5 minutes ago. Bryce Brown misses in the paint. Temple pounces all over it, and they can extend this 8-point lead perhaps to a double-digit advantage. That would be the largest of the game. What's different about Temple the last few minutes offensively?
They're running their stuff. They're running the ball down low, back out, moving the ball, moving the players, getting screens, and Auburn is again slid back into the first half issues of one-pass shot. Quick shots is why Auburn is now down.
Folks, thanks for sticking with us. We'll have our audio issues solved in just a moment. But an 8-point lead for Temple. Owls hang on. They advance to the championship on Sunday night. Fran Dunphy, Temple's head coach, whispered a few words into Josh Brown's ear. And Quentin Rose had it.
Up to 6 minutes left in the game, Kevin. 9-point deficit. Huge possession for the Auburn Tigers.
Shooting much better in the second half. 50% from the field for Auburn. Brown hesitated. Now lets it go. Sticks it from the top of the key.
Nice jab step. He caught the ball, made a little jab step with the ball on his front foot. He got Josh Brown on his heels, went up and knocked down the three.
And Ed Chionia, catch and shoot from the corner. McLemore affected the shot. Good defense.
Great contest by McLemore. Good call, partner.
By the way, McLemore, great defender. He has a game-high 17 points. That's 24 in the orange.
I don't think it's possible to get anything else out of McLemore. He's doing it on both ends.
Heron, free ball.
He is a great catch and shot type of guy as well, and that's the first one that he's seen go through the rim, and now everyone in orange is all fired up.
3-point game. Rose. And the answer. You said it. Shots are going to fall eventually.
When he shoots it, he's had great luck here in Charleston. It's a little bit of a push shot for such a great athlete because he raises so high off the ground when he shoots his jump shot, but he's knocking them down.
Temple couldn't buy a bucket in the first half, shooting 70% from the field in the second half. Whistle underneath. This might be on Alani Moore.
Rose free from the top, not the corner, Kevin. I thought it was a corner three.
14 points, 4 triples for Rose. Murray, that's the jab move he likes, lost the ball. Here is Rose. Flying, leaves it for an Etzionia.
The great unselfish pass by Rose. He did all the hard work. He got to the rim, could have tried to finish himself. Easy dish up to Obi for the finish.
Game high 19 for the senior from Virginia.
Oh my goodness! Harper with his eyes on McLemore the whole way. He got the 2 defenders to bite from Temple, and he threw it up to the rafters, and McLemore threw it down.
His team sprinting to the finish. Rose, corner, that's his spot. 5 threes for the sophomore from Rochester, New York. Now it's Harper's turn. McLemore loses. We're going to have one more timeout for both of these teams, and then it's pedal to the metal, a chance to go to the championship. Would have been number 6.
Hey, when you're feeling it, Kevin, you're feeling it.
Well, Rose in the corner. Brown may drive, look for a kick. Temple leads by 9, maybe 11. The follow for Alston.
Good things happen when you take the ball to the rim, and the pursuit by the Temple Owls to the glass.
Bryce Brown fouled, and he is at the line for 2 free throws when we return. Final timeout. Auburn needs another burst to the finish line, but it's Temple.
Well, you've got the high ball screen and the dunk by McLemore, and no one's feeling it like Quentin Rose in Charleston from behind the arc. 80-69 Temple up.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Gildan. Love your dad?
18 in the second half.
Well, in the paint. I mean, he's let Quentin Rose take charge from out behind the arc, which is usually where Obi lives, and that's great when you take advantage of that 6'10" frame. But Quentin Rose, he's the athlete, and in the second half, they have given him the three-point shot, and he has taken it. And there's a great example of him getting downhill with the easy dish to Obi, but wow, the confidence from behind the stripe. Look at him, hurry up.
Rose with 9 second-half points, and it's been that duo, and then plus Shiz Alston Jr. with 16 points. But Quentin Rose, this Temple coaching staff, they were kind of upset when they missed on James Carr, the Roman Catholic star, Tony Carr went to Penn State, but then who signs a couple days later? Quentin Rose. Yeah, he has been a stud season 2 with the Owls. About 10 points a game a year ago, but erupting in these first 2 of the 2017-18 season.
Not a bad second-place recruiting finish right there with the Q. I mean, we have been highlighting Rose's three-point shooting performance, but Temple 26-18 in the paint in the second half. So Fran Dunphy and the coaching staff at halftime said, get the ball down low first, because when you dump it out after that, the threes will flow.
Hey, there's 2:30 left, though. Auburn, the full-court press. Temple nicely beats it across the timeline.
Well, Coach Pearl had prepared his team for a little bit of poise. When adversity strikes, we need to handle it, defend, and get down and convert. Let's see how they do.
That was the difference. If you saw it just right above the score, Temple in the second half, 68% from the field. Reverse for Alani Moore.
Great recognition of the mismatch with Okeke, the freshman, again challenging the quick point guard Moore. Oh, this kid, man.
And that's Harper.
He is just awesome.
By the way, Moore now with 10 points. So that is 4 Temple scores in double figures. You mentioned before the offense is running effectively. Why? What's the difference in the second half for Temple?
Well, everyone's so excited about Josh Brown playing point guard. It's been Moore's point guard abilities in the second half. And now Josh with the ball right now, also a point guard. You've got 3 guards as point guards, plus Quentin Rose now playing a 4, who's a 2 guard.
Tonight, Sports Center. That's at 6 Eastern. The 6 with Michael and Jamel. Can the Thunder keep moving forward? Preview that game against San Antonio later this evening. And also take a closer look at what's going on with the Clippers ahead of their matchup with LeBron and the Cavs. And then, of course, look around Week 11 of the NFL. That's the 6 Sports Center on ESPN, also on the ESPN app.
You know, the idea for Bruce Pearl and Auburn was to wear down Temple. Well, Fran Dunphy said, I'm going to go play 4 guards as well in the second half, and it has worked.
All 4 of those guards that you're referring to in double figures. That sails out. Temple ball. And it's looking like the Owls will face either Clemson or Hofstra in the Gildan Charleston Classic Final, 9:30 p.m. Sunday.
Now, Bruce Pearl might argue with that, Kevin, because we have 1:13 left, and you know, in that vernacular, a lot of golf left to be played. You can throw a couple of shanks out there. You never know. This Auburn team can score in a hurry.
Timeout taken by Temple. Temple 1:10 away from the final. Kevin Fitzgerald, all right, with 8:20 left in the second half, 3. Since then, Temple has gone on a 21-9 run. The backcourt, that was the difference, huh?
It was a backcourt, and Coach Fran Dunphy took out 6'11" Damian Moore at that point in the game. Went 4 guards, and credit Moore. We didn't focus on Moore at the beginning, but he's in the double figures, and all 4 of these Temple guards have performed in the second half.
And that's a tough... Alani Moore was strong with the basketball and then advancing it across half court. And there's the whistle that's going to send Shiz Alston Jr. to the free throw line. Chuma Okeke with the personal foul. Again, Auburn's team, Bruce Pearl had a 1-point advantage. It was 64-63. And they had the momentum too. This game was close for 32 minutes. No team had pulled away until Temple late in this second half.
Well, Quentin Rose knocked down the 3s, which helped extend the lead at that point, but it's also the maturity and the poise of the Temple guards. They contributed collectively, and they never got rattled.
You said right up the top, the backcourt that performs the best today is probably going to win. I mean, these were most likely the 2 best teams in this tournament. They fought hard today. You think we're going to see these 2 teams in the tournament? They're going to win 20 wins, 20 games probably
I think Temple is going to have a much better year, and they will be in the tournament come March. And, you know, if you project out Clemson winning the next game and getting to the finals on Sunday, they have 2 huge bodies up front, Elijah Thomas and Dante Gratham. If you see these guys play big against Temple, you might see Moore and Obi now going large with Fran Dunphy's Owls in the championship game against Clemson. Today, he coaches way small. 4 guards on 4 guards, and they outplay the Auburn Tigers.
Quentin Rose, 20 points in Temple's season opener yesterday against Old Dominion. And Fran Dunphy's call him a 2 guard. Today he was playing the 4 at some points. Went off once again, and 17 points. Hit 5 of those from behind the arc, Mark.
Nice give and go after the made 3. The scout report says give him the 3. You can see both times Murray did not run out at him like you would against Obi. But boy, he's knocking him down without the hand. You know, what does the great Mark Jackson say? Hand down, man down.
Rose, one game last year, scored 26. And Rose is open. And with the exclamation point at the rim.
That whole possession was set up by Shiz Alston way back here in the backcourt. Calmly took on 3 defenders and launched that fast break. It's a good win, Kevin, for the Temple Owls. They were challenged by an over-enthusiastic and a high-energy Auburn Tigers team. They came in ready to play yet again. They wanted to wear down the Owls, but Temple stood up to that challenge. It's a great victory for Fran Dunphy and his team.
Plenty of Temple fans make that trip down from Broad Street in Philadelphia on their feet behind the Owls bench. They're headed to the championship. We know one of the two teams that will play on Sunday night at 9:30 for the Gildan Charleston Classic Championship. It is Temple. 4 scores in double figures.